Oh my goodness, I haven't done this in so long. No. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be giving my review on Swoop Airlines. So before I go ahead and get into this video, you already know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to make sure you stay up to date on all my recent videos and all my travel vlogs. And don't forget to watch my last vlog from when I went to Aruba during COVID. If you don't know what Swoop Airline is, Swoop Airlines is basically a budget airline. It's basically for Canada what Spirit Airlines is for the US. Kind of the same thing, budget airline. So it gets you from point A to point B, and everything extra you basically have to pay for, which obviously it is what it is. It goes without saying. So I've personally flown with Swoop twice. So I did a one-way to Las Vegas, and then I did a round trip. I did one way from Ontario to Calgary, and then I came back from Abbotsford, BC, back to Ontario. So I've flown with Swoop 3 times, and I've had no complaints. I love Swoop. I would definitely, if they flew to more places, I would definitely fly with Swoop more often. One of the main things about Swoop is that, as I mentioned before, you pay for everything. So Swoop is probably the only airline I check a bag with. So you get a free personal item, but to carry-on item, you have to pay. The carry-on item is the same price as a checked bag. So you might as well check a bag. It literally makes sense. So if I was to go from Ontario to BC, it's $57 for a carry-on, it's $57 for a check bag. You might as well check the bag. Okay, there's no point in carrying stuff with you. You might as well check the bag. So I always check my bags whenever I fly with Swoop. It only makes sense. I don't carry, I'm usually a carry-on, but it literally makes no sense. You have to pay to pick your seats. Obviously, that goes without saying. Pretty much with every airline, you have to pay to choose where you want to sit. I don't believe you get food. I don't eat on flights really anyways, so that part doesn't affect me. I don't even know if you eat or not, or if that's true. I don't know. But I don't eat on flights anyways, but apparently you don't get free food. You only get like free snacks or whatever. In regards to the flights now, every single flight, all 3 flights I've flown with Swoop, they leave on time. I haven't had a flight, they either leave early or they leave on time, and they arrive at the destination either early or on time. The staff is super nice. I flew with them during COVID when I did the Alberta and the BC. When you walk on the plane, I'll probably short clip.
So, wait for your seat area.
Well, thank you. When you walk on the plane, they give you a wipe to wipe down your area, and I think that was pretty much it. And I think they came around and they offered us Sprite, or they offered us a drink, and then they pour it into a cup, and then that's really it. So that was fine during COVID. I flew with Swoop. They didn't operate at all out of Toronto. I had to drive to Hamilton to fly with Swoop. So as of recently, they now fly out of Toronto. So if you live in the GTA, you don't have to drive all the way to Hamilton. So you can actually fly out of Toronto, and I know they go to like Cancun, they go to Montego Bay in Jamaica, they go to Las Vegas, they go to Arizona. So like they have a bunch of destinations that you can go to. They even fly within Canada, of course. So they have quite a bit of destination you can go to. Of course, it is limited and it is cheaper. So depending on where I want to go, I definitely do choose Swoop because it is cheaper, so it is more beneficial, of course, to save your coins. I've never actually booked at the counter. I always book in advance. One of the main things I am going to say is know ahead of time your baggage. Know ahead of time your baggage. Always pay for your baggage in advance. For one of my trips, I think it was to Alberta, we ended up being overweight for our checked, which is the big $50 one. And then, so when we booked it online, it was $57. But when we got to the airport now, because we had to bring another suitcase, I think the price went up by, I think, $20 or $30 just to bring another suitcase, as opposed to if we ended up doing it online. So we did it last minute, so we couldn't do it online because it happened the same day. So we did it last minute, we couldn't do it online, we had to pay for it at the airport, the price went up. So make sure you know in advance your luggage, your suitcase, whatever you want to bring, make sure you know it in advance, and make sure you are under the make sure you're under the 50-pound weight limit. So that's of course very important. Another thing is we were over, so I asked the guy, and it's like $100 if you're over the 50-pound limit, even by like 5 pounds. It's $100 as opposed to the $60-70 if you just bring another suitcase. So definitely make sure you pack accordingly. Pack accordingly, guys. So with budget airlines, you have to make sure you know what you're doing before you go there, because if you don't, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, this is expensive, you have to pay for everything. Well, that's the point with a budget airline. You pay for everything. The point is to just get you to point A to point B, bring your own snacks, bring your own entertainment, do that kind of thing. If you want to check out like where they fly to, if you're interested, just go on flyswoop.com and it lists basically everywhere they travel to. But where they travel to depends on where you're flying from, because they don't fly out to everywhere from certain airports. So now that they have Toronto, Hamilton is restricted to like only 3 places as opposed to the lot that it was before, and like now they fly out from more places from Toronto. And then so like depending on where you choose where you're flying from limits your options as to where they're flying to. So please also keep that in mind. And they only fly to certain cities, as you'll see if you research it. So they only fly to, let's say, Las Vegas, Nevada. You can't search any other city within Nevada. It gives you the city and it gives you the place. You can't just search whatever place you want. There's only certain airports that they go to in each, I guess, state in each country. Now this was a little short video just basically giving my quick little review of Swoop Airlines. So as I mentioned, never late, always on time, cheap flights. There's not much else you really need, not much else I really need in an airline. If I want to save on costs, then obviously I'm going to fit everything in my personal bag. If you watched my carry-on bag video, you would know which backpack I would bring, which is like the big one. You can just bring that as a personal item, and then that would just fit under your seat. Boom, you save costs. So obviously with Swoop, it's a budget airline, you have to pay for everything. So just keep that in mind whenever you do want to fly, if you do think of flying with them. And that pretty much wraps up this review video. If there's anything I missed or anything you want to know, ask me in the comments and I'll definitely answer. So as always, you know what to do. If you haven't done it already from the beginning, like, subscribe, and comment on this video.